to March Badness 2025 Round 2 Results Show. Today I'm joined with, fellow selector. For every year we've been doing the Selection Sunday, usually on a Wednesday or a Thursday. Chris Sinzak, you're filling in for LC while he could, I don't know, some kids play or something he should have blown off, I think.
Yeah, I mean, who cares about those, right? Yeah, no, happy to be here and happy to be, find out these results along with everyone else.
Okay, so you haven't been, with that, thank you again. We need to probably give you your own office. You've been doing quite a bit of extra work for Cobras and Fire in the first quarter of 2025, so we appreciate it. Yeah, you're officially Cobra Studio South now.
Happy to help.
So you don't, though I was going to ask you, LC basically votes and checks out, and you're the same way. You're not really sure how things are. You haven't
I never
followed along. Okay.
Yeah, I don't follow like I should probably.
Well, no. We don't have to pretend. No pretense. If you do know, kind of have a good idea who won. But yeah, all right. So I'll start here in just a second, and then when we're done, I'll kind of go over kind of the leaderboard and the listener brackets, and then of course I'll talk about all 4 of our brackets, and then we'll preview basically round 3. So let's get into it, man. So the first matchup in the LC region, we had Motley Crue Generation Swine going up against Queensryche Frequency Unknown. So that would be a number 6 seed Motley Crue going up against number 8. Big upset there with Queensryche. What are your predictions here, Chris?
I think Motley Crue's going to win this one.
Yeah, it wasn't close. It was not in either group. Motley Crue did pull away with 80% of the Cobra and Fire vote, and an even 70% of the Decibel Geek vote. For the actual totals shake out at 76 total percent of the vote goes to Motley Crue, with 24% going to Frequency Unknown. I think in this case, I think the right album won, but I think it might have been tighter if it weren't. I mean, Generation Swine is what I was calling last episode a blue blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, in Frequency Unknown, the way I always vote is I vote for which one I would much more hear you guys talk about and would be make
really
better.
Wish people would do that with every round, every pick.
Yeah, because that's the reward, is the episode you get at the end of this thing. So I always vote that way. And Frequency Unknown is just a dull, bad album.
When we get to your region, I'm gonna have a bone to pick. Then, if that's how you feel, I don't know why you picked one of your records, but we're not there yet. All right. So then, also in the LC region, we got AC/DC, a number 5 seed, going up against Megadeth Risk, and oddly a number 7 seed, because that one also I would consider a blue blood. Who do you got here?
I'll go with Megadeth Risk.
Yeah, another one, basically almost the same percentages too. 80% in the Cobra group, 75 in Decibel Geek. It shakes out at a 78% victory for Megadeth Risk. So they move on to the next round. So, all right, let's get to your region, man. The surprise pick, and I think this one has some legs. This one and another record kind of remind me of Bruce Willis last year with The Return of Bruno, where it was like, oh my god, could this thing go all the way? And it just has that feeling like it really hasn't met a competition that it can't handle too much. But we'll see how it shakes out here. But the record I'm talking about is your number 1 seed, former Ramon, D.D. King, with it's a hip-hop album, correct?
Yeah, well, it's a rap album. Yeah.
Rap album?
Yeah.
Well, I think they consider all rap hip-hop.
Now, but like back then, they just classified it as his rap album. That's how it was marketed, at least.
Gotcha. Yeah, so standing in the spotlight and going up against Styx, Kilroy Was Here. What do you think happened with this one?
I'm sure Dee wiped the floor with him.
Yeah, I kind of tipped the hand there on that one. Another one that was closer than the other 2 matchups, but still not terribly close. 67% of the vote in the Cobra group. 86%, I think this is a little Chris Sinzak fandom for your Ramones love, but 86% of the Decibel Geek group shakes out to a 77% overall vote for D.D. King. So
yeah, because of my Ramones fandom, vote for an album that absolutely sucks that's connected to the Ramones.
I will say this. I shouldn't say it. I don't want to tip my hat because there's a bunch of the records still coming up here. Now this is the one that I'm like, why would you want anybody to talk about Vinnie Vincent's Speedball Jam?
I was more of a more of just wanting to hear your actual reaction to experiencing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have heard it, but LC hasn't. Now he's starting to get paranoid that it's going to win. So everybody do his blood pressure a little favor. Now, my prediction was it was going to win this round when it goes up against Aerosmith Music from Another Dimension. And then I think next round is where it takes its first real hit. It possibly gets knocked out, and I'm talking about Vinnie Vincent. So with Aerosmith going up against Vinnie Vincent, who do you got here?
I'm sure Vinnie probably won this matchup.
I'm happy to say that at least this time it was close. He was an LC vote away from taking every vote in the first round, and that's never happened.
I remember I watched the first wrap-up show, and I laughed pretty hard when that was revealed.
Oh man,
LC was the reason it wasn't a clean sweep.
What a buzzkill! If I saw that, I would go, oh, I gotta give this one a vote. But anyway, so yeah, that one advances. So that takes us to the Bakko region. And my first matchup was Ace Frehley 10,000 volts going up against Nitro out fucking rages. What do you got?
The Ace one's too new. I think the people. I gotta imagine Nitro won that one.
Yeah, they did, but I think the Ace one, it's also got more cachet, and that's what I was saying. Like the Decibel Geek group is a little more protective of the Kiss guys. So they tend to not they don't run away with things as easily as they do in the Cobra group. But so Nitro did win both groups, but 53% in our group, so it's a little tighter. But 79% in the Decibel Geek group, so they just did not want to vote for Ace. They didn't want to let Aaron Camaro down. And it ends up with a pretty solid victory of 66% of the overall vote goes to Nitro. Nitro also reminds me of how the return of Bruno kind of took off a little stronger than we thought it would last.
Yeah, but if you listen to it, it's
horrible.
It's an experience for sure.
No, I bought the fucking thing. Yeah. Back in the day, just on a whim. It was at the record store I went to all the time. I'm like, well, let's just check it out. Anyway. All right, and then we have Joey Haney versus Randy Brown with the Melvis Pincus abortion technician. Going up against Hollyweird Poison. Hollyweird is a 2 seed, and the Melvins is a 5.
I'm thinking Poison's going to win this because no one's going to want to hear about the Melvins, I'm sure.
Yeah, Melvins had their strongest showing ever in the first round, so maybe there was a little promise, but pretty quickly Poison took off, getting 83% of the Cobra and Fire group vote and 68% of the Decibel Geek vote. So, a pretty easy win, 76% overall. And most of these have been blowouts, but that's going to change here pretty quick. So let's get to the Camaro region. Wasp, Kill, Fuck, Die advanced as an 8 seed to fight Peter Criss, his 78th solo album, a 3rd seed. What do you got here, Chris?
The Wasp album is a worse album by far. I mean, but I'm thinking the Kiss fandom is going to make Peter Criss the winner on this.
Now, Peter won by 1 vote in the first round. He advances with a 2-point win in the second round. I'm like, I got to tell you, I don't know what kind of steam this guy has, but he just pulls it out late. But this is one that was different results in different groups as far as percentages. Wasp actually won the Cobra and Fire group with 53% of the vote, but Peter won with 58% of the group of the Decibel Geek group with a 2-vote overall margin. He wins with 52% of the vote.
Did you see that Peter Criss interview quote that I posted earlier today?
Yeah, and I actually remember that article from, I think it was Hit Parader back in the day.
Hit Parader, yeah. First question is, Peter, you've been relatively quiet in recent years. What have you been up to? And he's like, I've released 2 solo albums in that time. Ow.
He fleshes it out a little bit more, and since the second one nobody ever actually saw.
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
But no, yeah, absolutely killer little screen cap you had that you shared there. So Peter advances. He might face an old bandmate, Gene Simmons' asshole, goes up against U2 Songs of Innocence. What do you think happened? Well, Gene was what, he was a 4 seed, and U2 was a 7 seed.
I think Gene's gonna have to win this one because I mean, the U2 album, yes, it was annoying, but like it doesn't have any business in this tournament to me. That's my opinion.
I tend to agree. It might be a fun record to talk about.
It was a great pick to have it in the tournament to start with, but I think its time is over because it was a interesting idea to put it in there, but I don't think it needs to go further than this.
100% agree. And real quick on that, I think it's kind of funny. That's the record that was put on your iPhone for free, and I absolutely love the blowback because I'm not an Apple products user. I'm not a big fan of the company. I've never been like Steve Jobs is my hero. I've just never been that guy. I've always been PC. If you want to pick a war, their products are probably fine. And then of course U2, fuck U2, you know. So I'm happy that it had the reaction it did, but it seems more like one of those internet things that like some people, like in our group, take way too serious now. It's like really, is it that big an offense that they gave away a record? I mean, you can delete it. You know what I mean? It's like what the, like if they like somehow like they showed up to your house and tied you down and made you listen to it and wouldn't leave until you signed an affidavit that said you thought it was the greatest record ever.
It was just a fun thing for people to bitch about, and they just embraced it.
It was around that time, yeah, that part I loved. I loved that, but I think we've kind of, if we're still talking about it, I think we've kind of lost the way a little bit. It's like, give me a break. That was also when what's the next wave of music? How are we going to market it, you know? And
I just love that people were that invested in music at the time. So, what happened to that?
You actually cared back then, huh?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you called this an easy win for Gene. 92% of the Cobra and Fire group and 76%. See, again, just a little more protective of the Kiss guy in the Decibel Geek group, but this one not as much. 84% of the total vote goes to Gene, so he advances. So let's get to the brackets. So the listener stuff. Well, a former Decibel Geek writer and a friend of the show and a guy you know well, David Glenn is doing pretty good. He has 26 points overall, and he has all 4 of his final 4. So he has that means he has his final 2, and he still has his champion all still in it. You know what I mean? But the runaway leader is Scott Crouch, and I'm rooting for Scott because I have to pay for shipping on the winning prize of the Tommy Lee record, and I do not want to ship this to whatever country David's living in right now. I know it's in Europe somewhere.
I think he's in Holland.
Yeah. And I think Scott Crouch is at least domestic. So come on, Scott. But he has only 3 of his final 4 left. But I can just check real quick. I believe he has his final 2 and his winner still there. Those are the big ones where, so,
that's impressive.
No, he has Ace 10,000 volts winning it all. So that kind of hurts him. I think David's got a pretty good chance here.
Get ready to ship overseas.
I think last year I kind of predicted who was going to win, thinking with a small bracket, and it was easy. The numbers change pretty rapidly as the points go up and things. So I'm not guessing too much. I'm just saying Dave's in a little better place right now, but maybe he's got some final 4 picks that don't match up with Scott's. Well, he's got to have at least 3. No, he doesn't. All right, to our brackets. So the scores here. LC is he's pretty much out of it. He's got 16 points with 2 of his final 4 left. So he didn't take any more hits to his final 4, but he didn't do very good. He's got Swine and Risk, which are both on the next round, and then Nitro and Poison, but he's done other than that. Chris, Aaron Camaro is next with 22 points with 3 of his final 4 left. So I passed him by a point. I have 23 with 3 of mine left, and you were probably sitting in the best spot of all 4 of us. You have passed, I think you were in 2nd place last week. You got 24 total points by my math, and you have all 4 of your final 4 left. So,
right on.
Hey, you're looking good doing the whole thing. Maybe I'll just rig the rules and make you the winner at the end. But just to avoid the shipping cost, David. Come on. Yeah. All right, so let's get to next round's matchups before I get you out of here, Chris. And so in the LC round, we are down to Motley Crue, Generation Swine, going up against Megadeth Risk. What are your predictions here?
Generation Swine's gonna probably be a more fun album to talk about, and I think it maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for that one to win. I'm gonna go with that one.
I got Swine advancing. I think I might even have picked Swine to win it all.
I could see it happening.
But yeah, this is like Duke, North Carolina, man.
Yeah.
So now in a much more unconventional region, the CC region, we have DD King, a first-time entrant, a first-time #1 seed, of course, going up against Vinnie Vincent, a #2 seed. You're 1 and 2. What the motherfucker? That's pretty good. What do you got here?
I was just hoping both of these could have just stayed apart for a little bit longer, but I didn't set it up the right way.
This is the longest you could have kept them apart.
Yeah, I know. Because they both can do a lot of damage. But no, the DD King album at least has actual songs on it, so I'm gonna go with that one. I would encourage folks to don't put Vinny through on this. It's just ear torture.
This is where I think Vinny goes down. I really do. This is what I thought last week. Everything went exactly the way I thought it would in your region in round 2. So I hope I continue to, for the exact same reasons. I think the DD King record will be a lot more fun to get into.
Oh, it'll be a lot of fun.
I haven't even sampled it yet. No pun intended. Anyway.
Are you planning on sampling it if it before it comes to that? Or are you going to wait to see if it wins first?
I might. I don't know. I really don't have a plan. I'll definitely be listening to it a handful of times if it wins. And we had that listener reach out that has the long box version of it. That is amazing. He's still got the box. One of those guys.
I just can't believe somebody bought one.
I can't believe they held on to the box.
Yeah, and held on to the box. But yeah, there's a video for a song called Funky Man, if you want to look that up.
All right. Well, now I got something to do after we're done here. All right, let's get over to the Bakko region. We got Nitro, this year's rookie from my group. Bringing it to Poison Hollyweird. What do you think here?
I think it would be fun to hear y'all talk about Nitro, but no, Poison slugged it out for a lot of years on this bracket thing, so let's go with Poison.
It might be their year, but my gut tells me Nitro. They're getting to the Final Four at least, so I got Nitro winning this one. All right, and then we'll get down into Camaro's region. He's got his Peter Criss 78 solo record going up against Gene Simmons' asshole. Never gets tired of saying something like that. What do you got here?
The Gene Simmons album is a worse album. I mean, the Peter Criss it's not what people like, but it's not that bad.
No, it's good, I think.
And the Gene album would be more fun to hear y'all make fun of. So I'd go with the Gene album.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be close. I think Pete's had a nice little run. He's won 2 rounds by a total of 3 votes. He is going to lose this by at least 4 times that. I'm gonna say he's gonna have at least a 12 vote loss.
Wow,
it's only 12 votes, but that's my bold prediction there. So
he said 3 votes. That is his number.
Yeah. All right. So everybody, if you. Not a lot of people tuned in live, so hopefully you're catching this on replay. Polls open again Thursday morning, March 13th, and they run for the full day. I basically take them down the next morning at the same time I post them, so 24 hours. Then we'll have our results show on Friday night at the same time, 6:30. That'll be announcing the Final Four. At that point, we just kind of let things go. There will be no more updates. It would be kind of silly to get together to talk about 2 games, or 2 matchups, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And then we go dark, and the actual episode comes out. So if you really want to know, you got to pay close attention to the voting. But I encourage you not to. Let it be someone to surprise.
It's gonna be DD King. We all know.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Because hopefully LC's on for the next results show. Do you want to make a prediction? Is that you're calling your shot, DD King?
Yeah, DD King I think is gonna win the whole thing.
And that is who you picked too. So
yep.
Well, I might as well stick with mine. I got my own bracket. Yeah, I didn't even pick mine. You know what I mean? Like my region, I had Generation Swine winning the whole thing. So LC.
Yeah. Well, the only thing going against the DD King album is not everyone knows it's Dee Dee Ramone and knows the story, so it is obscure. So that's the only thing going against it. But if they know or and they sample even 30 seconds of any song, they're going to be like, oh, they got to talk about this one because it's
based on the comments. Some people have heard your pitch for this record, and so I think that's part of the reason it's getting a nice little push.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
All right. Well, Chris, if you're from Decibel Geek Podcast, you got Rockin' Pod coming up. Before I tap you out of here, you want to pump anything else?
Yeah, Rockin' Pod weekend, April 11th through the 13th. We've got a big Rare Hair show going on the Friday with Billy Sheehan and a bunch of other special guests playing. And the expo on Saturday, the comedy show Sunday, Tuck Smith on Saturday night. It's going to be a great weekend. Rockinpod.com. Get your tickets today and take some stress off Tracy. Don't make her wait around.
And yeah, say hi to David Glenn while he's up there.
Yeah, he is coming back.
If he wins, I'll just send the record to you and you can give it to him. Maybe
there you go.
Yeah,
I'll hand it to him at the convention.
We'll know soon enough. All right.
We'll do a presentation on the stage.
yes, you have to. And then maybe he can do something with it that'll be fun to videotape or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll make content out of it.
All right, well, Chris, if you don't mind just hanging around for a second when we're done recording here, I had a couple things for you. But everybody who's been following along and voting and turning in brackets and commenting and all the good stuff, this is always a blast every year. We appreciate it. We appreciate all your support year round. But March Badness 2025, we're going to be getting down to the Final Four here pretty quick. Tune in Friday to find out that. And once again, Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you. Had a blast.